Welcome, Raider Nation and my champions. Yes, we are live here at the halftime of the Pittsburgh Steelers Las Vegas Raiders game with the Raiders up 9-7. They are winning, but a little bit of a disappointment here, especially with that last drive. A lot of penalties, and we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about what I think were the good, the bad, the ugly, and where I think we are as far as those 4 keys to the game that I gave out in my game preview. I want to say hello to all of you in chat. Thank you for coming out here this Sunday morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. Wesley John, I see you in the chat. Sandy B, My Life, Raider Wolf, Dominique. Yes. We're going to get into that right now. Charlie Dudash, welcome as well. Now we're going to get, if you're new here, what we do is we do this thing called the rundown. So you can see this on your screen right now. So we have topics that we normally talk about in the live stream. Right now, we're going to be talking about the good, the bad, the ugly from week 2. Go over how I think we're doing as far as our keys to the game. And then briefly look at how the other teams are doing. Look at the scoreboard in week 2. And talk about the full review. And then we'll have a little Q&A during halftime. I only want to go on during halftime. Once the second half comes on, we can watch the rest of the game there. So welcome, everybody. We're going to get right to this. So as far as my week 2 good, bad, and ugly, the first thing I got to say is obviously with the secondary, huge, especially with Casey Hayward here. I took a screenshot of this. Awesome. Saved a touchdown there with Chase Claypool. He defended another pass on the other side earlier in the game. That veteran presence is coming through. You can totally see it there. Also, as far as the good, I put hugs for Big Ben. Now, we do, I believe, have one technical sack with Solomon Thomas, they said, but I thought he was kind of past the line of scrimmage, but so be it. Max Crosby doesn't have a sack, but he's been making his presence known. Took a little screenshot of this. I enjoyed this. This is where Crosby and Quentin Jefferson said hello to Big Ben today, so I think Big Ben held on the ball a little bit too long there, but oh well, too bad for him. As far as the bad goes, the offensive lineman, Andre James, little shaky again. Alex Leatherwood with another false start penalty. Let TJ Watt come through a little bit. And then that holding penalty on the last drive, I thought that was kind of iffy, to be honest with you. Given what Villanueva was allowed to do last week, I mean, that was absolutely nothing. I thought that was kind of a bullshit call, to be honest with you. And then the fumble with Andre James, you could blame him, you could blame Derek Carr. Not only that, with Carr, he felt the pressure with TJ Watt, doesn't wrap it up. Again, some little concerns with the fumbling and that ball handling from him. And then I got to put here Corey Littleton, and I put it as a replay. This looked exactly, well, not exactly, but a lot like last week with the Tyson Williams touchdown run, that Juju touchdown run. This time, Littleton had the position, just basically bounced off of him, didn't wrap up. I think he's the most overrated player on this team. We got him as a free agent from the Rams to defend against Travis Kelce because he could defend against George Kittle, all this stuff. He has been a huge bust and a total waste of money. Now, as far as the ugly, I got to say it, that Najee Harris basically trucked Jonathan Abram. That looked awful. So I got to give it to him for that. Also, some of the players like Joe Schobert for the Steelers having a heck of a game, I think, at linebacker coverage and tackling. Spillane, I know the people were whining about that being a roughing call on Carr. It was helmet to helmet. I mean, if that was Tom Brady in the same position, they'd be saying, oh, it's so terrible, but it's the Raiders, so hey, we got to question that. I'm not so sure about that. It was helmet to helmet, and he was leading with the helmet, so, As far as the keys to the game, now I went over this in my game preview that I put out last night. A couple on offense, couple on defense. We got to get to Big Ben. That's been happening. I'm going to give that an A so far for the half. Like I said, technically one sack, but I think we've been pressuring him. He's been feeling, it's been hurting out there. So it's good. We've been knocking him down, knocking him on his ass. And then I put this on Trayvon Merrick. I talked about the secondary. I think the secondary overall has been pretty good. No huge plays, some small plays, a lot over the middle. Thank you very much again, Littleton. Not doing very much there. But I think the secondary in general has been very good, especially Trayvon Mullen with the pick. But you could say that was set up with the pressure from Max Crosby, and it was. Casey Hayward's having a whale of a game. Even Nate Hobbs is doing well out there, breaking up some screen plays, wide receiver screens. As far as the offense, Colton Miller, this line is. It looked better in the second quarter than the first quarter. The first quarter looked, I thought, really bad. The second quarter a little bit better, but I'm a little concerned. We're starting to see Melvin Ingram in the backfield now. We didn't see that before. I know T.J. Watts, they said he's on a pitch count. He's a little dinged up. Lualu got hurt. That looked like kind of a gruesome injury with the ankle there, and they put a boot on him. They took him away. Cam Hayward's still a presence. I'm a little concerned about that. They've been using Drake a little bit. I think he's better suited on the outside if you're going to do an outside run or in the flat. I think it's been okay. Again, I think the defense is kind of carrying this team again, and it's kind of weird to say that because, for at least the last few years, it's been the other way around. The offense has had to score 30-plus points to try to win a game, and the defense is kind of holding its own out there, especially against more of a high-powered offense than the Baltimore Ravens. Now, as far as week 2, we're going to we'll talk about the NFL recap, and I'm just going to go over some of the scores right now. Again, I haven't been watching these games. I'm focused directly on the Raider game. I'm just seeing some of the scores. Bears 7-0 lead at halftime. Andy Dalton's playing. Bengals stink. Bears should win this by double digits. I know the Texans were up 14-7. They should. I don't know if they're having a hangover from that Chiefs choke last week or what's going on with that. The Rams and Colts, I would expect a lot more points over here. I know the Colts are a little stingy, especially at home, but I think the Rams will probably turn it up in the second half. Let's see. Bills, Dolphins. This is no surprise to me. I think the Dolphins, especially Tua, is junk. He didn't do anything against us last year, and he didn't do much last week. So until he shows it, and I think the Bills are kind of going to get some revenge from that game that they choked last week against Pittsburgh. No real surprise here. I would say the Niners should be up more here. I'm not so impressed with the Eagles' offense. I know they did pretty well last week. The Raider game, big shock here. Wow, I got to take a look at this. All of you in fantasy starting Jameis Winston, this looks like trouble to me. Like I said, I haven't been watching the game. I've been watching the Raider game exclusively. I'll probably go to Red Zone after the game. Broncos, Jags. Broncos should win this one going away, to be honest. But it's kind of close right now. We'll see what happens in the second half. All right. So as far as the second half, I'll be giving out a full review of this game. Probably come out tomorrow. So look for that, and I'll be giving out the grades just like I did last week. So go ahead and look for that, and we'll right now we'll go to the question and answer session. I'm going to take a look at the chat. Try to go from top to bottom. Thank you all for coming here. Like I said, I just want to come during halftime just discuss what I saw during the game, and then get your feedback on what you saw as well. Let's see. Sandy B says, so 9-7, good. Yeah, it's okay. I think we should have at least got a touchdown on that last drive. Raider Wolf says, yeah, baby. Yeah. I think the defense is doing better than I expected, to be honest. The offensive line's been kind of hit and miss. My Life DIY says, no notice and was down 3 videos from the top. Weird football time. I put it out. You hit the subscribe button, hit your bell, and hit all on the bell notification. And I did start this a little early because halftime started a little early. I scheduled it for 11:30. I think I started at 11:20. So it's going to flex a little bit. I'm kind of guessing the games are about 3 hours, so I go about an hour and a half from start time. but you should have gotten, they usually come out with like a half hour notice beforehand. You'll go live in 30 minutes. So you should have got that in 11. So double check your bell notifications, please. Dominique 5 says penalties are killing us. Yeah, especially on the last drive. Did you guys hear Gruden? Even the announcers could hear him. He's like, oh, he sounds like he's in the broadcast booth again. He's like dropping F-bombs. He was pissed. The Colton, I'll say this personally, the Colton Miller penalty was probably warranted. He looked like he was way down the field a little too early as a lineman. But I think the Leatherwood holding penalty on Ingram, I think that was bullshit. He just kind of basically hit him. And if there was any holding, it was on the inside, and they allowed that on the inside, and he let him go. So I think that was garbage right there. But the Colton Miller one was probably a right call, to be honest. Raider Wolf said the offensive line isn't so bad, but Leatherwood does need to clean his shit up. Well, Leatherwood's been facing some tough competition these first 2 weeks. Remember, he's still a rookie. TJ Watt is a MVP type discussion candidate. So it is what it is. He's going to get his bumps. Remember, Colton Miller didn't look so hot his first year as well. So like I said, it is what it is. And I'm more concerned on the interior, losing both guards. Andre James has been kind of really iffy right now. And even Derek Carr's like getting in his face, getting mad at him. I'm not so sure if we're going to go to Nick Martin in the next game or not. I really don't know where that's going to go, but I would really like to get Richie Incognito back so we can get some semblance of an inside run game. Charlie Dudash says, anyone have the game? It is on on CBS. It streams in a variety of sources. You can find it on the internet. That's about all I can say about that. Wesley John 87 says the offensive line is beyond bad. They looked a little bit better in the second quarter, but that last drive. Sandy B says you're right. Dominique, let's see. You've got two TVs on, Sandy B. You're watching both games. That's awesome. Leatherwood's a rookie's paired against the badass. Yeah, agreed. Hugs for big. You like that, huh? Yeah, I like that. I told you that. I said that in my game review. We got to knock him on his ass, and we've been doing it. And I think, honestly, that's been the difference. He doesn't get to sit out there, and he's trying to run, but he's kind of too old to be trying to scramble anymore. He's getting caught. So definitely not Lamar Jackson out there for sure. Bullshit call. Yes. I laughed out loud when Abram got tossed. God, Mulligan gave up the big play. The Bears are trash also. I think they really need to go to Justin Fields because their offensive line is terrible. And Dalton's not sustainable back there. It's just this is the way it is. Sandy B got the notifications. Good. Offensive line's beyond bad. Just trying to catch up with the chat here. I'm more concerned about James and Leatherwood. Me too. I thought that's why we brought in Nick Martin in case. I'd like to maybe at least entertain the idea for him in the next week's game against Miami. So, all right. Looks like the second half is coming back on, guys. I'm going to cut it out. Thank you for coming. And we're going to do this probably every week if you guys want it. Let me know in the chat if you guys enjoy this format. We just do a quick rundown of the what I saw in the first half and then get your input and we can talk about it. Yes, Josh Jacobs is out with a toe injury. They say toe/ankle. He has a turf toe injury. So he was called out, I believe, on Friday by John Gruden in one of his interviews. So yeah, Josh Jacobs is out. Don't have the dynamic power running game. Kenyon Drake doesn't really give you that. He gives you the outside passing. Peyton Barber, like I said, iffy. Plus the interior offensive line's no good. This is the old Gruden West Coast offense. This is what we need. So it's back on. I'm going to cut out here, watch the second half, enjoy the second half, and as always, go Raiders.